go. Here we are again, finally. So, last time we left off, like, what was that? Maybe the 14th? No. The 7th or the 8th. I know it's been a little over a week. We were working on this last problem here, which was to calculate the end balance, the credit card balance, at the end of the year. Oh no! Of course. I mean, we all know it's not cerulean without some uses. So, I'll be right back. Like it never happened. Okay. So, these are the first, well, we're in week 2 from set 2. So these got a little more complicated. Here's the code that we wrote this last time. I think it wasn't even, I wasn't even done, but I ended up finishing it that weekend off stream, so but. This is the code to determine the balance at the end of the year when given the balance, the interest rate, and a monthly payment rate. Start month at 0, total payment at 0, unpaid balance at 0, and then we do a while loop while the month is less than 12. If month is equal to 0, we first reduce the balance by the monthly payment because no interest has been charged yet, and then we increment the total payment by the monthly payment, and then we determine the new unpaid balance, which will, for the next month, which will also have interest calculated on the balance minus the initial monthly payment rates, right? And then we increment the month by 1. So then the next time through the loop, month won't equal 0 anymore, so we'll skip all of this because this is no longer true. And then instead we'll do this. We say the monthly payment will be set to the unpaid balance times the monthly payment rate because it was doing like 4% or 6% of the unpaid balance as the monthly payment. So that was also changing as it is going through the code. And then the new unpaid balance is calculated the same way up here. And total payment is incremented by the monthly payment, and then the month is incremented as well. And then at the end, once it goes all the way through, and it's not equal to 12 because we start counting at 0. So if we included 12, then it would be 13 months actually. And we round the unpaid balance to 2 decimal points. Yeah. And so this came out correct. Now, all of these, I guess, equations here have been given from the introduction here to talk about how to calculate compound interest. And so that one we finished. This one we're working on. This is the code that I have so far for this one. It's kind of built off of this compound credit payment calculation, but the premise is similar, except that instead of wanting to know what the balance is at the end of the year, we're saying the balance at the end of the year is 0. What monthly payment works out to ensure that the balance is 0 at the end of the year? So we're taking balance and annual interest rates. Starting at month is 0. Unpaid balance is 0. Monthly payment, it told us to start at $10 per month to see, because we don't know what the balance is that will be put in, that will be given. And then total payments is the monthly payment times 12. I'm trying a while loop again. I can already see this is much more complicated than the other one, which I don't know. To me, it starts to feel like if it's too complicated, then it can't be right. I don't know. I think there's supposed to be some kind of simplicity to have like a while with an if ELIF loop, and then inside that another if ELIF loop, and then an else. Seems a little like, I think it's a little overly complicated, which means I don't quite understand what we need to do here entirely yet. I think we're getting kind of close, but we're incrementing the month. That's good. It won't enter an infinite loop. I don't think we want an else here. I think we just want to return round monthly payment. And where do we want to return it? Here? Or all the way outside? And then I got this from in here, some testing, a test case to try and get the same answer that they got. Let's review the problem. The following variables contain values as described below: the balance and the annual interest rate. The program should print out one line, the lowest monthly payment will pay off the debt in under 1 year. So I think with this we at least have lowest payments. And then we make that a string so it should print. This is compounded monthly, according to the balance at the end of the month after the payment for the month is made, which is why I used some of the equations from here, because it's the same type of thing, saying the unpaid balance is the balance minus the monthly payment plus the balance minus the monthly payment times the annual interest rate multiplied by the annual interest rate. Monthly payment's a multiple of 10, so that's where we got that. And it's the same for all the months. And then it's possible for the balance to become negative using this payment scheme, which is okay. The summary of the required math is found below. Oh, so it's okay, so maybe I don't have to. I feel like we have to get it within the range to 0. It has to be at least 0. And then it should be within the minimum monthly payment that's there. So let's see. I think this is, yes, this is the test case I was using here. You know anything about Python? So, yes, the monthly unpaid balance is the previous balance minus the minimum. I think that this is kind of all pieced together over here. Right, so we have the unpaid balance is equal to the balance minus the monthly payments. I feel there might be some problem with unpaid balance and balance here. I guess balance because it's 0, it's the very first one. So it's the balance that's given here initially, and then that becomes the unpaid balance. And then we can put it in here on this side. Yes, okay. The monthly unpaid balance. Unpaid balance each month is the monthly unpaid balance. Which is the previous balance minus the, yeah, plus the monthly interest rate times the monthly unpaid balance. And then when we get to month 12, we need to check, right? We need to check and see, is it within a range that makes the balance at the end of the year 0? Basically, we test the end of the year. And I was tracking total payments because I was thinking, it shouldn't be unpaid balance. It should be if balance minus the total payments. Because it's the initial balance at month 12. If the initial balance. So I'm just learning Python, which is why I'm kind of struggling with it. I think I have a little bit of the syntax down, but this is about as complicated as we've gotten so far. So not very far at all, obviously. But I find the more that I do this, the realization that all code is basically just pieces like this stuck together in chains to do something. So at least that makes it feel more manageable in my mind. So if the balance minus the total payments made, which is the fixed monthly payment times the number of months, greater than or equal to the monthly payment, because I'm thinking, should we just say greater than or equal to 0? I'm not sure. Let's think about this a little bit. I know that this should be balance, not unpaid balance, because the unpaid balance at the end could be smaller, so that when you subtract the total payments, it wouldn't. That I don't think that is working as a test here and here. But if we take the balance, which is the initial starting point, and then we subtract all the payments that were made, we know that if it's less than or equal to 0, that it works. And okay, so maybe we say if the balance minus the total payments is still greater than, see, I was thinking the monthly payment, because then as you get closer to 0, right, say the monthly payment is 10, but your balance wasn't in multiples of 10, so at the end you stop and you have less than 10. Is that close enough? I don't think so, because it has to be 0. So it has to be if the balance minus the total payments is greater than or equal to just greater than 0, I guess. So if the balance minus the total payments is greater than 0, then we increment the monthly payment by 10. We set the unpaid balance back to 0. We set the month back to 0. And we do this all over again. except the monthly payment now is 20. Then we need, I would guess, the other half here is a check where if it's much less than that. So if it's much less than 0, how would this really work? What points do we need to check? Balance minus the total payments is greater than 0. Yes. You don't need to increment total payments because it's fixed. That's totally fixed. It doesn't rely on the code being approved. Let's see.
I got it.
1 second. Okay, there we go. So how does this work? If the balance, beginning balance given minus the total payments is greater than 0, we have to run through it again. Yes. Yes. So what's the next one? Okay. All right. So then what's the other point, right? If it's greater than 0, we do something. If it's equal to 0, we just want to return the monthly payment, right? So if it's greater than 0, do this. If it's less than 0, do this. But the other thing I need to think about is I don't want it to enter a state where it's, maybe it doesn't equal 0, but it's within the monthly payment range. And so it could go forever just adding and subtracting the monthly payment range. Like how do I get it to kick out if that's what's happening? If it's running some kind of so let's imagine our balance is like, we'll just pick small numbers so it's simpler. So like that it's 22, right? And our monthly payment is 10. So we take the $22 and we subtract 10 and we get 12. And then we subtract 10 again and we get 2, right? And then we're like, hey, that's still greater than 0. So we're gonna go through again. It would be too small. No, that's a faulty thought experiment. Let's try a different one. Because this happens only after the 12 months has come through. So if the balance is 100 and the monthly payment is 10, then the total payments is going to be greater than the balance. And so it will be less than 0. And so instead of monthly payment of 10, we'll have monthly payment of 0, and then see how it will go back and forth. Then the next time it will come through here and I'll say, oh, that's greater than 0, so let's add 10. Oh, no, it's less than 0. Let's subtract 10. So it will not end. It will end and it will enter an infinite loop going through here and checking, incrementing and decrementing the monthly payments, but never equaling 0. So what happens then? What do I tell it to do in that case? I don't know, I'm thinking like, what if I enter some kind of artificial count so that if it goes through this, it gives a count, but if the count, or it goes through this, and if the count is greater than 1, if the count here is greater than 1 and the count here is greater than 1, then it needs to break out, because that means that it's gone up and then gone down. And as it's climbed up, it climbed too far, so it's gone back. And once it's gone back once, it doesn't need to try to go forward again. We know that the range is somewhere in there, right? I think that makes sense. So and I'm guessing that then it would need to be maybe we don't decrement it and we just say if it's greater than 0, we return the monthly payment, because they said it's okay if it's negative. Let's try that. And then that would make it so, let's use our idea of 100 again. The total payments is 120, the balance was 100 minus the total payments of 120, and that's less than 0. So then we return the $10 per month payment, because that will pay it off at the end of the year. Maybe, I don't know. I feel like let's save and let's run this and see what happens. Let's see. What can I do here? That's what I can do. Hooray. Okay. It has entered an infinite loop. So we're going to stop this. It's less than or equal to 0. Incremented, otherwise we just return this. But maybe we just say, if it's greater than 0, do that. Else, return the round monthly. The monthly payment rounded to 2 decimal points, right? Yes. That's good. Let's reset our kernel. So this will run through, and then once it equals 12, it's going to check. And if the balance minus the total payments is greater than 0, it's going to increment the monthly payment, set the unpaid balance to 0, set the month to 0, and it should run again. Run through this with the monthly payment change. And test again, and say the second time through we get to 12. Oh no, it'll never equal 12. Yes, okay. So this is if it's less than 10. For month less than 11. Oh, that's part of the problem because we won't hit 12 for the check, or we won't hit 11 for the check. So it has to be less than or equal to here. Less than or equal to 11. And if it's 0, which is where we're starting at, it does this, then it adds 1. Then it says, hey, are we still less than 11? Yes, we are. We are less than 10. And then once we hit 11, right, it doesn't equal that. I don't think I can do number, symbol. I can't do a range like that. But I could say if month in range, ELIF, month in range, and the range will go from 1 to 10. From 1 to 11 because the last one isn't included in the range. Let's give it a try. Still running forever. Doesn't seem like it's getting kicked out. Once we hit month 11, that would actually be like 12 months. Okay, the 12th time through the loop. Still hasn't put anything out. Not sure why. Let's look at the hints again. Maybe this will give us an idea. Start with $10 payments per month and calculate whether the balance will be paid off in a year this way. And if the monthly payments are insufficient to pay off the debt within a year, right, which is kind of what we did here. We run through this whole thing to basically increase or decrease the unpaid balance, right? Unpaid balance is this. Ooh, maybe that's part of the problem. No, it starts at 0, that's fine. And then it will be changed already once this goes through here. Wait. We don't need total roots. Monthly payment, we just need the unpaid balance calculation, right? Which is fine. And I'm working under the assumption, I know what assuming this does, but working under the assumption that this calculation here for the unpaid balance should work over here as well. Because we're decreasing the unpaid balance, right? No. Yes, we are. We're decreasing it by the monthly payment. Even though we're adding interest into it. Maybe this isn't the correct step here, because really, once this is done, while month is less than or equal to 11, so once we're going through the 11th month, right? So the 10th time through it does this one. So the very first time through it does 0. And then the next time through, all the way through the 10th time, it does this. Then the very next time through it will be 11. We'll set it here. And what do at month 11? We don't just check, because it hasn't been completed yet. We're missing an additional step here, which is this. One more time, right? Because it doesn't include 11 in that range, so it will run through until month is 10, which will have run 11 times because we start counting at 0. Then the very next time it will be 11, but we'll still need to do that. And then check. Do we make this 12 then? And say if this is 12, then we check. Because then it will have done all the way through. This has to be 12 then too. Because then it will go between 0 through 11. Right. And then it will increment the last time, and when it's 12, it's equal to 12, so it will still execute the loop. It won't execute this piece, it won't execute this piece, it will come here and check. And then it's going to check the balance versus the total payments for the year. And then reset. Increment by 10 and reset. Oh no. Maybe. I still don't know why I'm getting a lot. It's not stopping. It's not giving me any errors, but it's an infinite loop somewhere. I don't know how, because I am incrementing the months, except I reset the month to 0 once we get to 12 if the balance minus the total payments is greater than 0. We run through it again, because we need it to be 0 or less than 0 at the end. So months have to be returned to 0 as well, so that it will run through again. And this should kick it out, because if balance minus the total payments is equal to 0 or less than 0, then this statement isn't true and it won't run this. It should run the else, which is just to return the round monthly payment, rounded to 2 decimal points. mean, like talking through it, it sounds right, but obviously I'm not doing something right. Obviously, because we're not getting a good answer. And it's still going. It's probably something stupid like indentation. Like maybe the else in return should be out further. But I don't think so. Do you want to break? Else break out? But that will only break it out of that. But maybe it would be done? I don't know. I don't know. That's so close. Sorry, I hear something. I feel like this is so close. This is so close. Maybe there's some way to write this one, like maybe the test is this to this, right? But we check here. What would need to be done each time? I mean, it has to be a 0 here where the balance leads to the unpaid balance, and then this range here, and then a check. And we check. If it's greater than 0, do it all over again. I don't know. And hint, a way of structuring our code. Given an initial balance, what code would compute the balance at the end of the year? So that's what we're doing here. We're computing the balance, so at the end of the year, there's this. And it does it 0 plus 11 times. How do we write code that would reset the balance to the initial balance? Ah, maybe that's why. I don't quite think so, because balance has never changed. It's only unpaid balance. We set unpaid balance back to 0, a month back to 0. It does it from here again with the balance to start with. See if the payment value is there. And you don't want to override the original value of balance. Oh! I'm not overwriting the original value of balance, but will it pull it from here again? I think so, right? Oops, yep. Okay, so maybe I have to break, right? Because the good minimum monthly payment value. So if the balance minus the total payments is greater than 0, we increment it and we go again. Else we break and we return the round monthly payment, right? Maybe. Let's try that. Okay. At least I got a result. But it went 20, so it only went one time through. Or I guess twice, because we started 10, it went one more time beyond that. Let's play again. 10. None. Anything? Nothing? No. Stop. Yeah. Let's try this one. No, this is running forever. At least that gets us a result. Maybe we just make this less than 12. Same thing. Return outside function. Okay, 24. Let's see what happens now. Nothing. It's going forever. Let's do print. Oh, invalid syntax. I forgot. It's got to be this, like that. Nope. Here we are again, just trial and error. And I don't want to override the original value of balance, which we don't. Why don't we set the, we don't want to set it equal to the balance, do we? this is taking entirely too long. So it's hitting the else too soon. I mean, there's no way this can be true because the balance was 33.29 and the total payments made were 120. It's greater than 0, so then keep incrementing it and going again. It stops at 20. Why? That should do it. Balance minus the total payments is less than or equal to 0. Because we know the total payments, that's a set amount every time it cycles through, it determines the total payments by the payment minus monthly payment times 12. I don't know about this. I feel like for sure, there's got to be now it's running forever because it's not breaking. It's not even like doing anything now. Okay, so there's really only two states, just like if it's greater than 0 or if it's less than or equal to 0. Either it's greater than 0 or it's not. So this could just be else. So either this is true or you do this. Maybe this shouldn't be inside the while loop, and it should just be less than or equal to 11, and then we test it out here outside the, or equal to the while loop, so it runs the while loop, and then once the while loop ends, then it does this. Does that make sense? So first we do while month is less than or equal to well, it's less than or equal to 11, right? Because it runs on time 0 and 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is actually 12 times 3. And yes, I just counted that on my fingers. And what? And if it's maybe it's just an else. If it's 0, else do this. And it's going to keep going until it hits 11, and then it's going to increment again. It's going to be 12. It's going to kick out.
So Tiara, it's Mario.
No.
Doing okay. I need your work. Right now I'm here trying to sync everything in departmental drive file. And it seems that you've encrypted a handful of stuff with things over in communications. Would you mind if I jump into your machine to help us sort it out?
I guess I should try to send that.
So good, you can decrypt it. So
So we're saying so while month is less than or equal to 11, month equals 0, which we'll do the first time through, do this. ELIF, just like a second if statement. So this one won't be true the second time through, but this one will be, because it will be in the range of 1 through 11 because the endpoint isn't included. Then you're going to do this and increment 1. So it'll do this step the first time through, all the next times through it'll do this. Once it goes through the last time, it hits 12. Then it's done.
And
We can say less than or equal to 11 as well. We'll do this here. Alright. And then
so and by nature,
and then all of these should be set, right? Having gone through all of this, the monthly payment is set at the beginning, the unpaid balance will be set here. And then we check the balance minus the total payments. No, not the initial balance, the unpaid balance. And we don't need to subtract anything. We just need to say is the unpaid balance at the end greater than 0, right? Because we're subtracting all along the way here. Right, so if the unpaid balance is greater than 0, we set the unpaid balance to 0. Is that going to be right? And lump to 0. I mean, we don't even need to set unpaid balance to anything. We just set month to 0 and it'll run through again. It doesn't matter what this unpaid balance is because it's reset here at step 0 again. This isn't needed anymore. Lowest payment, none. This is definitely outside the well. What is inside the definition of what this is going to do? So at the end of all of this, if the unpaid balance is greater than 0, increment the monthly payment by 10, set the month to 0.
hey, do you have really know Andrew's limit section? 106. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Right, because at the very end of this, month should be 12. And we'll reset months to 0 here. I feel like this is the closest we've been. Still doesn't feel like it's quite there. We're not overriding the original value of balance. How can we? We can't. It's right there. It's always right there.
Hello, Andrew. Hey, can you hear me? All right. I need first. Let me check the computer. All right. Monitors good. Email to the app.
Should be
Beautiful. Now we need your
term.
There's a. I'm here trying to sync everything to the cloud storage box, and there's a couple of files I need to recommend communications folder that you would keep with them so that they say.
No more than 30 checks. That's great. All right. I feel like it's returning none. That's what I'm going to get from the next one. Why is it returning none? Bye. Again, I feel lost. We've definitely changed this, streamlined it a lot. I feel like maybe this isn't how it's supposed to be structured, but it needs to be separate from this. Like, should we do it like that if month is equal to 11? Is the 11th time through and run through this and then I'll be able to do the next thing? Do we need to break it here? Oh, it should just end once month is greater than 11, which will happen here because at range 11 then we'll go through and add 1 until month is 12. Then it kicks out of this and I want to check if the unpaid balance is greater than 0. Okay, I gotta take this, hold on.
Makes me wanna grow. Never gonna give you. 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 Never gonna give you. It makes me wanna cry. I know I'm never ever giving you up. You're always gonna feel my love. This thing is so damn crazy. Boy, I just wanna be down. Make me around for you. Oh, it makes me wanna cry. I know I'm never ever giving you up. You're always gonna feel my love. This thing is so damn crazy. Boy, I just wanna be down. Make me around for you. Oh, never gonna give you. Makes me wanna grow. Never gonna give you. Makes me wanna grow. Never gonna give you. It makes me wanna cry. I know I'm never ever giving you up. You're always gonna feel my love. This thing is so damn crazy. Boy, I just wanna be down. Make me around for you. Oh, it makes me wanna cry. I know I'm never ever giving you up. You're always gonna feel my love. This thing is so damn crazy. Boy, I just wanna be down. Make me around for you. Oh, never gonna give you. Makes me wanna grow. Never gonna give you. want you, baby. You know I do. I'll give you my heart and the rest is up to you. You ain't no good for me, I know it's true. But you don't have to pay, 'cause I do it for the thrill, for the rush. I do it for the pain, for your touch. Well, I only when it's too much. If I survive, maybe you're the one I'm stuck here standing in the rain. You said I don't need you like that, but I do, but I do. I'm telling that sun to come back. Your figure fading in the gray. Blue skies don't tease me like that, like you do, like you do. I'm feeling like the world's about to change when hummingbirds are singing in the rain. Dreaming that I'm standing in the light. Do you love me? Can you feel the sunshine? Make it brighter for me. When that sun comes shining on me. Feels like this storm's holding back. Soon I'll be swimming in the dream. I walk but I fall off the track to the blue, to the blue. But I don't wanna look the other way, and I don't wanna wake up in a painting, dreaming of that rainy summer day. Do you love me? Can you feel the sunshine? Make it brighter for me. When that sun comes shining on me. I said, can you feel the sunshine? Make it brighter for me. When that sun comes shining on me. Can you feel the sunshine? Make it brighter for me. When that sun comes shining on me. I said, can you feel the sunshine? Make it brighter for me. When that sun comes shining on me. Can you feel the sunshine? Make it brighter for me. When that sun comes shining on me. I said, can you feel the sunshine? Make it brighter for me. When that sun comes shining on me. I said, can you feel
Okay,
the sun?
so that was like lunch
Make it brighter
plus like a step away,
when that
but
sun comes shining on me.
Now I'm trying to figure out the answer because I put hours and hours into this. We're getting none. We weren't getting none before. Let's see here. We're getting none over here. Why is that? None and none for both times. Is that because the unpaid balance is only in the while loop? This would be. I have to rearrange my stuff right now, right now. Scoot over here. Is that right? Doesn't know. No, I should say something positive like everything goes like so we should return unpaid balance. Okay, I got it to return something.
Awesome.
Of course, it's not really an answer. Oh, and we're out of music. Of course. Let's do this one. Yeah. Okay. So it's not printing none anymore. So we want to return the unpaid balance. Monthly payment is set and defined.
why it would go a little bit there. I mean, it makes no sense because somehow it's returning something that's greater. It seems like they're doing some recursion, which is not what I did here. Maybe recursion would be a better way to do it. Okay, I know that. So maybe there's an easier way to do it here. Maybe it's something like, we know what the total monthly payments are going to be. We calculate the balance for the entire year recursively, right? So, but then that requires restructuring this entire problem. Oh, that's not what I want to do.
through. So maybe what's happening is that it's not going through a loop. Maybe there's a way to do total payments, which is the monthly payment times 12. That's the total payments, and then we have the balance at the end of the year has to be looped to determine that. I think I'm running out of brain juice, for real. Yeah. It doesn't take that long. This is what we've written. We've already changed it significantly today. We're getting an answer out, which is good because for a while we were just getting no. But it's still not the right answer. Just like reviewing my notes on recursion. And it's been like a week since I worked on this, so. feel like this probably could be written more simply. The other idea is that it has to be within an epsilon of 10. It's the number of guesses. Yes. So with that, we could do something like that where if the epsilon is greater than 10 because the monthly balance increments by 10, then maybe I feel super stuck. If we're going to change this up into a by recursion, I need to figure out what the base case is. Okay, back. I'll call over. This is how we calculate the unpaid balance at the end of the year, but I'm wondering if we should think about it the other way. Like, I don't think so, because the only way to calculate the unpaid balance at the end of the year is by using monthly payments. Which means we have to go through monthly. We need to go through it 11 times. make it a while loop? Can we make it a for loop? I'm returning the unpaid balance. Do I do it there? Nope. How about here? Nope. But it changes. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, all I did is just do that. It's going down. It doesn't make any sense because this is saying it's going through here like 342 times. And how is lowest payment have, if we're incrementing by 10, how does lowest payment have any kind of decimal? Like, it makes no sense. This makes no sense. But I feel like that's the story of my life, so whatever. It works. Really. Found a kitten in my backyard. I already had him like a week or so. We got him. Still like bottle feeding him. He was like a meat. Look how tiny he is. Look. He's super tiny. He's so cute. So little. So this is also what he was treated for like a week because he had to be bottle fed. So tiny. It's crying in the backyard. Maybe my co-living partner. Yeah, when things get to be too much, I'll just fight you for a while. Yeah, I'll continue. So I still have another hour and 15 minutes to sit here and struggle. So. Let's see. We freaked out last night. We didn't know it. We couldn't find him for a couple of hours. We looked all around the house. What's going on? Where's this cat? Knocked on neighbors' doors. Like, did he get out? Like, what happened? And at 10 o'clock at night, I found him in a drawer underneath one of the desks that he likes to play in. He was inside a closed drawer. Sound asleep. Chill out on my desk. There you go. Oh no. Ah. Just checking out my water glass. Thirsty, baby? Give him milk already. You need a bath again. Still learning how to use the body. Probably shouldn't let him up here because he's gonna get the idea he should be on my desk. That's actually a no. So I'll be right back. Yeah, of course.
It's an 800 number, don't worry about it.
Okay, decline. Shh. We got it. Rings everywhere all the time. Too much. Okay, what are we looking at here? Same round. Maybe because it's if and else, that's the problem. Maybe we need to say while the unpaid balance is greater than 0. So it would do this while looping the next one. Or return here. No, that changed nothing. So it's not reprinting the unpaid balance because unpaid balance is only defined inside here.
still 0 out of 15. So bad. Stop. So. Six attempts. No. Oh, we need one more at the end. Put this here. I put it in there, it tells me no. I take it out, it tells me no. All right, I've had just about enough of this. It's been going on 8 hours now, at least. Start looking here. There we go. Yep. Oh.
So they did it the other way, where new balance was greater than 0. Like this. No! We were close. This is nicer because now I see how they made the balance equal to the new balance, then they decremented the new balance, and as long as the new balance was greater than 0, then it would increase the monthly payment. Set month equal to 1, and then while month is less than 12, and new balance. Okay. It's outside that. It's with that. Comma, monthly payment. Okay. We're not going to concatenate. Do that. Not quite, I guess. Go to make cost
Okay, I'll get that.
Well, there's a will, there's a way, kinda beautiful. And every night has its day so magical. And if there's love in this life, there's no obstacle that can't be defeated. For every tyrant to tear for the vulnerable. In every loss, so the bones of a miracle. For every dreamer, a dream we're unstoppable. With something to believe in. Monday left me broken. Tuesday I was through with hoping. Wednesday my empty arms were open. Thursday waiting for love, waiting for love. Thank the stars it's Friday. I'm burning like a fire gone wild on Saturday. Guess I won't be coming to church on Sunday. I'll be waiting for love, waiting for love to come around.
Okay, I'm still there. Still dealing with this. This is wrong.
We are one of a kind, irreplaceable. How did I get so blind and so cynical? If there's love in this life, we're unstoppable. No, we can't be defeated. Monday left me broken. Tuesday I was through with hoping. Wednesday my empty arms were open. Thursday waiting for love, waiting for love. Thank the stars it's Friday. I'm burning like a fire gone wild on Saturday. Guess I won't be coming to church on Sunday. I'll be waiting for love, waiting for love to come around. And now I've got this code and not my old fantastic code. Can I revert? Doesn't look like it.
Do, baby? Where you wanna go? I'll take you to the moon, baby. I'll take you to the floor. I treat you like a real lady, no matter where you go. Just give me some time, baby. Cause you know, even when we're apart, I know my heart is still there with you. 5 more hours till the night is ours, and I'm back with you. This right here is my type of party.
Let's fix this one up. Should have used a different take this out.
you wanna know. Just pour another drink, baby. Come on, pour a little more. I treat you like a real lady. I'll keep you out the cold. I'll give you all my time, baby. You know, even when we're apart, I know my heart is still there with you. 5 more hours down the night is ours and ours. This is right here is my type of party.
What else do we need? But it's not start balance that we want. This would be like end balance, hold to balance. Balance, does that work? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Aren't I using it right here? Right. That's not what I want to do. There we go, that's better. Oh my god.
It works?
No! No, it doesn't. Stop.
Okay.
Stop. It's not gonna work. It hasn't worked for 8 hours in a week.
It's too much pressures.
And at this point, I'm just trying to copy anybody else's code that actually fucking works to get an answer, and nobody's code works. And I can't get the answer here either. I've already submitted how many incorrect responses now? 6, and it won't give me the option to just like show me the goddamn result. What?
It'll help. Maybe. Just save the work. Restart the computer. There might be a glitch in the office.
No.
No, we're in too deep. We've got to go all the way.
Yep.
Yes, this is problem 2. Yes, that was the one we used previously.
Okay, we'll restart our kernel, see what happens. Probably we should use this one. Shit, I don't know anything anymore. No, monthly payment's not defined even though it's defined right here. But it won't print it. I got nothing to say about any of this. I can't even like find the answer. Let's see what they did here. Now we're going to test it. Good. This monthly payment is only defined inside this function. Oh my god. Hi Number Ninja, how are you? I'm still struggling here with this one. I've even just said I'm not writing my code anymore because it looked fine. Let me go see if I can find the answer just so I can move on to the next problem. But that's not really happening. So let's try this next one. And now I'm getting no output. Oh, my voice is quiet. Let me see here. Is that any better? You're gonna tell me if that's better. I could also attempt to turn the music down more. I don't know. I tried all that. Tell me if it's any better. I had the noise suppression on because I have my air conditioner on. It's kind of hot here today. My keyboard comes in clear, right? The clicky clacking is clear, but not right next to my microphone. No. That's okay, I suppose. It's only a little better. I don't know how to make it even better. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, no function wrapper. Still wrong. Has an infinite loop. Which I would have seen over here too, if I would have looked that it was still running. So let's see. Right? Maybe I'll ask for that for Christmas. This is one of my favorite songs. I'm not sure how to turn it up even more. It's all the way turned up. On the desktop, audio is turned down a bit. Yeah. I don't know, like, what would be better or not. I don't know. I don't know how to make my sound better. It sucks. I don't know how to do a lot of this stuff. Everything that's happening in my life right now. Now, why is it pitching? Oh wow, inside another wild loop. Let's see what this one is. No, this isn't right. How are you doing, Rebecca? John? Please distract me from the fact that I can't get the answer. And you know what I think I'm going to do? We're just going to go on to the next one, although the next one builds on it, so I don't see how that's going to be much better. How frustrating. Why can't I just get the solution? I'd like to see the solution, please. I put hours and hours of work into this and I still didn't get the right answer. Please. I'll beg. Start the monthly payment in time. We had a couple of like wow loops. Yeah, I'm trying to just like debug this code. Okay. Let's see if we even get partial credit. Be happy with that. Incorrect. Okay, I don't want to print every one, so let's take it out a level. Oh, finally! Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Oh my god, I've never heard that joke before. I've never even said that joke before. I'm so original, just like you. Okay, next one. I don't even have time to start this one. Let's look it over and see. We had to get the second one right because each one builds on the next, so. Okay, so we take problem 2 and now we're going to do it as a bisection search. Save, this one saved, good. So we do the same type of thing, but instead bisection search. Where's my notes on this? Whoa! She's flying all over the place. Here we go, bisection search. One-twelfth of the original balance is a good lower bound. So we would want it to be so a lower bound. Should be 1/12 of the original balance. And then an upper bound, they're saying instead of paying monthly, we paid off the entire balance at the end of the year. What we ultimately pay must be greater than what we would have paid in monthly installments because the interest was compounded with the balance we didn't pay off each month. So a good upper bound of the monthly payment would be 1/12 of the balance after having its interest compounded monthly for an entire year. This feels like a recursion, or at least a while statement. And we take the while statement from in here, so let me open one more. This one, because it has this one here. Which is kind of like this. Interesting. I have like a range of band from like days to hours, minutes to purge. Let's see what purge does. Oh, there we go. Nice. Okay, so what is the upper bound? Maybe for month in range 0 or month in range 12. And then we do the because it has to go through that to pay off the balance at the end of the year. Yes. So the good upper bound for the monthly payment would be 1/12 of the balance after having some interest compounded monthly for an entire year. And how do we do that? We do it with this piece here, right? But we don't need the new balance. Like this. And then we return the unpaid balance. I guess at the very end you would say like unpaid balance divided by 12, right? But that's not written simply enough. I think we have to use maybe recursion for this. guess, has to be the high and the low divided by 2. Okay. That's it for me today. Yeah. Back tomorrow. We will get through this one tomorrow, and hopefully we'll get through our week 2 problem set too. I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to take. But we'll be at it again tomorrow. So, see you all later. Bye!